So this week I'm here with your 4-minute guide to surviving year end because let's face it, what fundraiser has much more than 4 minutes at this time of year? So I'm Emma at 𝗔𝗶𝗀𝗄𝗃 Philanthropy. I'm going to dive right in with my tip number 1, and that is to know at some point your goals are going to go totally off the rails. This is going to happen over and over the course of your fundraising career. If there's one thing I've learned in almost 25 years of fundraising, there will be mistakes, there will be missteps, there will be mess ups, there will be tech fails. If it can go wrong, it will. So the most important thing here is to really get back up, dust yourself off, and get things back on track. There are always going to be mistakes. The best thing you can do is learn from them the best you can and move on. And I think the most important thing is that the most successful fundraisers are persistent. So they get right back at it and get back on track no matter what happens. My tip number 2 is related, and that is to accept that most things are actually outside of your control. This one's a really hard one for us type A personalities to swallow, the fact that things are actually outside of our control. But the reality is the only things you can control are your own actions and your own feelings. You can't control the decisions, action of feeling or feelings of others, including your donors, your coworkers, and your family members. So recognizing that most things are actually out of your control can be a big weight off of your shoulders, especially this time of year. My third tip for you is to have some self-compassion. I've noticed that a lot of fundraisers are very hard on themselves. We engage in a lot of unproductive self-criticism and negative self-talk. A lot of us speak to ourselves in a way we would never imagine speaking with a colleague or a donor or a family member. So having some compassion for yourself is actually really very productive. I've been reading a lot of interesting research lately from a doctor named Kristin Neff, who is doing some studies and looking at how resilience and self-compassion are actually very closely related. So she actually has a really interesting self-compassion self-assessment available on her website. I'm going to link that up on the video notes on my website at 𝗔𝗶𝗀𝗄𝗃.com. If you want to take that, really interesting and a really useful thing this time of year to have a little bit of compassion for yourself. My final tip for you is a tough one for me. I'm saying this to remind myself as much as anything, is don't negotiate on diet, sleep, or exercise. If you're anything like me, good sleep, diet, and exercise patterns are the first thing to go out the window when things get stressful, especially this time of year. If I'm pressed for time, I'll often negotiate these things away. For example, waking up an hour or 2 early, sleeping 6 hours instead of 7 just to get a little bit of extra time into work. But these negotiations never turn out in my favor. They're really counterproductive because I know when I don't get enough sleep, I'm not productive, creative, or patient the next day. So keep in mind how important these things are at this time of year, especially when we're under so much stress at year end. And don't negotiate away those important things, especially whatever works for you in terms of diet, sleep, and exercise. Just try to keep it up. And again, if you do mess up and fall off of your goals like I do pretty much on a daily basis, just get right back up again and get right back at it. So those are my tips. I'd love to hear your tips on coping during stressful times like year end. I hope you'll leave a comment below and share your ideas with our community of fundraisers. And if you've enjoyed this video, you can read other blogs, videos, articles like this at my website at 𝗔𝗶𝗀𝗄𝗃.com. And thanks again for watching, and hang in there. The end of the year is almost here.